look at these two cells. They are both unicellular organisms, meaning they are made up of one cell. At first look, they seem very different. There are several distinguishing features. But there is one difference between the two that defines them. Is it the flagella? No. That and similar structures are found throughout the living world. Is it the extramembrane? No. It is a distinguishing feature, yes, but not the most significant one. So which is it? It's the nucleus. The presence or absence of a nucleus is reflected in their names and places them into separate biological domains and kingdoms. The word prokaryote comes from the Greek pro, as in before, and karyon, as in nut or kernel. The nut referred to here is the nucleus, which is absent in prokaryotes. The term eukaryote comes from the Greek eu, as in true, and karyon again with the same meaning. And as you probably have already figured out, the nucleus is present in eukaryotes. So what is a nucleus? This is a membrane-bound organelle within which the cell's genetic material, its DNA, is stored. Prokaryotes do not have this structure. Instead, their genetic material floats freely in the cytoplasm as a collection of linear DNA called a nucleoid and several items of circular DNA called plasmids. Of course, as we can clearly see, this is not the only difference between prokaryotes and eukaryotes. In this video, we will explore many of these differences as outlined in the CAPE Unit 1 Biology syllabus. So let's get started. Okay, so what other features separate a prokaryote from a eukaryote? Yes, the nucleus stores the DNA in a eukaryotic cell, but there is also a big difference in the way that DNA is packaged. It is organized into pairs of chromosomes. Each chromosome consists of linear strands of DNA wrapped around proteins called histones, like thread wrapped around a series of spools. DNA in prokaryotes do not get the same level of organization. They lie naked in the cytoplasm, either in the loose loops of the nucleoid or the tight circles of plasmids. Okay, so let's compare the organelles. Wait a minute. Prokaryotes do not seem to have any organelles, not like what we see in the eukaryotic cell. And that is another distinguishing feature. Unlike eukaryotic cells, prokaryotes do not have membrane-bound organelles, which means that most of its activities, such as respiration and protein manufacture, are not compartmentalized. And talking about protein manufacture, do prokaryotes have ribosomes? Yes, they do. But there is a difference. Prokaryotes have ribosomes that are classified as 70S, whereas eukaryotes have 80S ribosomes. What does that mean? S stands for sedimentation coefficient, which is a measure of how quickly they sediment when undergoing centrifugation. 80S ribosomes sediment faster than 70S ribosomes. Also, prokaryotic ribosomes are smaller, with an average size of 20 nanometers, as compared to the 30 nanometer ribosomes of eukaryotes. Talking about size, let's compare the two to scale. Whoa, prokaryotes are much smaller, aren't they? The typical prokaryote ranges from 0.5 to 3 micrometers, whereas the smallest eukaryotic cell is 20 micrometers in diameter. Then there's one more thing to consider. At first look, a prokaryotic cell resembles a plant cell with its regular shape and cell wall. But even that familiar structure has a difference. The cell walls of the eukaryotic plant cell consist of the carbohydrate cellulose. The cell walls that surround the prokaryotic cell are made up of a polysaccharide peptide mesh called murein. And as we mentioned in the beginning, some prokaryotes have an additional protective layer called a capsule. It is compact, slimy, and protects the prokaryote from dehydration, as well as from other parasites, such as phagocytes. So there we go. The main differences between a prokaryote and a eukaryote according to CAPE requirements. Let's take one more look in one neat table. And now, let's try a question. Pause the video and answer this question on your own before playing the answer. Trust me, it's worth the effort. And there's your answer. That's it for now. Till next video.